Hi, you guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Odd, and these are Karen's Oddities. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Regardless, I do want to ask that you give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, even if you disagree with my content. And I also want to ask that you share this video and our channel with one person that you know, as I'm confident there is something here that both you and they can benefit from. Let's start with formalities. Happy New Year. We made it. We're in this bitch. We made it into 2026. If you're watching this video, we are in the new year officially. For this video, because it's been so long since I've, one, recorded a video and two, uploaded a video, I was going to do like an update on my life, but it's really hasn't been that interesting. So we're going to scratch that. And we're just going to talk about how my last or first 48, 60, 72 hours of the year have been. Before I get into those details, I want to say I hope that you are watching this video from a place of optimism, contentment, happiness, and gratitude, even if whatever's in your life right now is not exactly what you want it to be. Even if something that you wanted last year didn't come to be, even if something not so good happened at the end of last year, something not so good happened at the start of this new year. I think it's really important to shift our mindset, even if it's tricking ourselves, even if it's being delusional about something to a certain degree. I think it really helps uplift our spirits. And I hope that if your spirit is not in the best place, I hope that this video can bring you some joy and that something happens that turns around your situation for the better. Okay, so where should I start? So December, let's back up. Okay, so typically for New Year's, what I do is a group of friends and we always go out, right? If I have a boyfriend, my boyfriend comes out, my friends go out, we all go out together. We go to like a bar, lounge, we drink, we do the cheers, we play games. Sometimes I'll bring out games, and it's just a good chill time, a nice way to end out and close out the year. We talk about the positive things in the year. We may talk about what the plans that we have for the future, all these things, etc. This New Year's Eve was very different. I cannot recall the last New Year's that I didn't go out with my friends, or that I wasn't at a bar, that I wasn't at a club, or that I wasn't at a party, and that I actually spent it at home. I really, truly can't recall. Like, for as long as, like, once I became a young adult, even when I was 17, like, I was going out. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I did this, but this year I came down with, like, I don't know. I still have it a little bit. I don't know if it was a cold. I don't know if it was a flu. I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know what I had. But I started feeling sick on the 30th. I had, like, you know that feeling where you just have like body aches, fog brain, sore throat. I had that, and I'm like, no. I'm like, it's happening. And I had been around people that had been sick, but I was just hoping that I didn't get whatever they had. Well, I did, right? So I decided I was not going to go out. I was going to bring in the new year at my home, take some medication, try to recover and rest up. I've been off of work for 2 weeks, paid, thank God. I'm blessed. But I'm returning to work on Monday, right? So it was really important for me of like, I don't want to push myself to be out here late, drinking, spreading germs, not resting, having a fever, and then having to jump right into work on that Monday. So I decided to stay at home. As it relates to kind of like that pre-planning that me and my friends typically do, I did it a couple of weeks ago. And give me 1 second because I'm going to go get my notebook. All right. I have my notebook. I have a new notebook, the black notebook that I started this YouTube channel with. Still have it, but I finally exhausted it. I've used all the pages. So this is my new notebook. I don't know what, this is from the sticker. I don't know what the fuck this is, but there are strawberries on it. My friend Brooke gave it to me. Shout out to Brooke. Look, I have YouTube things on here. I did my congratulatory letter. I did one in August. I did a Year of the Bride fast. If you're interested in learning what that is, Google it and you can find her YouTube, or you can find her website. I did that, so I have some notes on that. I outlined my life in the next 10 years with or without children. pros and cons of that. Well, that's interesting. I have a list of affirmations that I wrote out on the 4th of December. I read those every single morning without a fail. I have a video where I talk about, like, there's a list of like 20 things that I do every single day, right? When I start my day, I start with this list. And as I progress through my morning, like, I get through all those things on the list. And just to give you, just in case I never post the video, things that are on there, I do deep breathing in the morning. I pray. I do Kegel exercises. I stretch. I read my affirmation list. I do mirror work. I listen to some type of spiritual content, whether that's spiritual music, whether that's spiritual teaching, whether that's a podcast. I practice Portuguese. I read every day. I dedicate something to some type of professional development. I apply to 3 jobs in New York City every day. What else is on that list? Obviously, shower, floss and brush my teeth, take my dogs outside. I drink water at room temperature, seated, and I give intention to my water. I take my vitamins every day. I have weightlifting and cardio, which I do sometimes. And then there's something else on there. I make my bed every day. I can't remember. But that's kind of like the list. There's like 1 or 2 things missing off that list. Tidy up my house. I added that. So now, versus cleaning my, not that I don't clean my house every Sunday, but versus cleaning my house at the end of the week, what I do now, every morning, I go into every single one of my rooms and I tidy it up. That's how I keep and maintain the cleanliness and organization of my home. It makes me feel better. Yeah, so that's my list. So here are my affirmations that I read every morning. And I did outline my goals, right? There's nothing in quarter 4 because why? We don't need to. Not every quarter has to be filled. So what I typically would have done with friends, I did it on my own. I did it a couple weeks ago. When did I do this? This was around, it was right before Christmas Eve. I wrote out the year. I made quadrant, because there's 4 for each quarter of the year. And there I outlined what are the goals that I want to accomplish within that quarter, right? So from January 1st through March 31st, what are the things that I want to get done, and vice versa, and et cetera, through the whole year. I outlined my 10-year plan, 10 things that I want to accomplish are here. And then I assign different quarters to them if it's separate from what I have on my goal list. So I did get that done, which I'm happy about, because I do think that it is very important to outline the things that you want to do, whether you do them or not. I think it's important to write things down. We talk about this all the time. I've talked about this in several of my previous videos. Obviously, I referenced this notebook. I referenced the other notebook that I have. I think it's important to write things down. I think when you write things down, it makes them more real. It gives you something to reference. It gives you something to look at. It gives you something to look back at. It gives something life. You speak life into that thing. It's like you're writing that thing, and like once it's written, like it's real. It has to happen, right? I'm not gonna get into like the whole manifestation stuff, but I'm manifesting, and I manifest all the time. I was just talking to my friend about like for Christmas, I manifested something 9 months ago. There was these shoes that I wanted, and they're very expensive. And I was going to get them for myself. You know, I was talking to my family about it. My mom's like, don't do it. But then she's like, well, you know what? You work hard, so just get them for yourself. But I was like, you know what? I said, I'm not buying them. I said, on Christmas, someone is going to buy them for me. I said, when someone asks me what I want for Christmas now, I'm not going to say, get me whatever you want. I'm going to tell them exactly what I want. And that is what I did this year. I said, I want these shoes. And I knew the shoes were expensive, and I knew it was asking for a lot, but I don't care anymore. If I want something, I'm gonna be very clear about what I want, and I encourage you to do the same thing. So I got the shoes for Christmas. Another thing that I have here in this notebook is I made a list of people that I want to catch up with this year, right? People that I haven't seen in a while. My list is not very long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people 7 people that I haven't connected with in the past couple of months that I want to check in with. I want to see how they're doing, whether it's from a personal standpoint, whether it's from a point of concern, or whether it's from a professional or business standpoint. These are just connections that maybe I haven't poured into recently that I want to make sure that I keep alive, and then I want to see how people are doing, and then I want them to know that I am intentional and care about the connection. I care about them. Those are the people that I want to connect with. I have this idea, and I'll talk about this in another video, but what was I watching? This video is all over the place, by the way. I was watching, was it YouTube? It was YouTube. I was watching Jessie Woo, and she was talking about, she was reviewing a show. I forgot what show it's called. And in that show, there's a woman. She's a mathematician. So if you know me personally, you know that I've always said I'm not good at math. I'm not the worst. Don't give me a calculation to do. Don't give me an equation. Don't give me simple math. Don't give me something to count, multiply. Don't give it to me. What I'm good at is analytics, writing, and speech. That's what I'm good at. Don't give me the math. I'm good at science too. So she's a mathematician, and she created a formula. And she uses this formula. Everything in her life is like a formula, which for me, as someone that doesn't care for math or isn't good at math, doesn't mean that I don't understand or appreciate the fundamentals of math. The beautiful thing about math, even though I suck at it, is that there really is only one answer. There's not a gray, there's not subjectiveness. There is one answer and only one answer, right? So it's like the definitiveness of math is very cool to me and intriguing. So she has a formula. That's what I started fleshing out. She has a formula for every single person that she dates. All of her relationships, romantic connections, she has a formula. And based on different criteria that matter to her, she applies this formula to that person or that connection to determine whether or not that person is worthy of her, like continuing to talk to them, continuing to date them, continuing to see them, if they're worth going on a date with, if they're worth communicating with, if they need to be cut off, if they need to be blocked. So I decided I was going to create my formula. And I'll make a separate video on this once I flesh it out. Like I have my one, you have to make your deal breakers, and then you have to assign points to certain things and then determine how you're going to evaluate people based on that criteria, right? So then when it's like an instance happens that matches this criteria, you update that calculation. Maybe it's every week, maybe it's every 5 days. And then if they're scoring below a certain point, they're out. That's the formula, right? So once I flesh out mine, I'll let you guys know. And if you want to make your own, then make your own. But it's not my idea. Like I said, I took it from, she didn't explain it to this extent, but I'm like, that makes so much sense. It's math. You're either scoring high or you're not, right? It's a numbers game at the end of the day. You date people, they fit what you want, they don't fit what you want, they're compatible with you, they show signs of incompatibility. It's yes, no. There is no gray, there is no in between. You're either meeting it or you're not. And none of these men have to know they're being scored. Of course, if they're watching my YouTube channel, then they may know that if they're dating me or trying to date me, I'm gonna be using this scoring on them. Okay, so let's get back into the year. I just randomly went through the stuff in my notebook, but this is from the 1st of January. So I'm sick. I didn't go out with my friends. It sounds like a lot of my friends didn't go out either. That made for a very different New Year's Eve for me. My friend told me about this medication that like shortens your cold. So I did go out to the store. I went and I purchased that. I purchased the grapes. I purchased champagne glasses. I purchased some decorations for my home. Like there's like a freaking disco ball in front of me. I purchased these flowers for myself. I put them in this beautiful vase because I love flowers and I deserve that. I purchased some snacks for myself, some popcorn, some dark chocolate covered almonds. And I said, you know what? I'm spending it at home, but I still have to be festive. I still have to be happy. I still have to be excited. I still have to do the things that I would, even if I don't feel as good as I would if I went out. Because I do believe that the the way you enter the year, the momentum that you bring into the new year is kind of the momentum that's going to follow you throughout the year. Is that superstitious? Absolutely. Am I a superstitious person? Absolutely. I can be. So, I ended up, my mom just texted me. I ended up coming home. I didn't feel like doing anything. Like, I slept a lot. I've been drinking a lot of water. And I was like, you know what? Let's put up these whack decorations. I washed my grapes. I got them ready. My brother, thank God for him, he brought me some food because my mom had made a lovely dinner. My mom is a great cook. He brought me some food. I was going to bake them cookies, and he's like, no, we don't want those cookies because you're going to get us sick. And I'm like, I'm not going to touch the freaking cookies. They're going to bake in the oven. I'm going to put them in a freaking dish, and I'm going to give them to you. He's like, no, we don't want to be sick. Keep your cookies. So I made myself cookies. And I waited till the new year came in, right? I put on my red underwear so that I could attract love. I had my grapes ready. I didn't have champagne, but I poured some White Claw into a champagne glass. I toast to myself. I bought a little freaking headband. I bought some like crazy glasses and stuff. And it's like, sometimes you gotta make something out of nothing, right? You gotta make something. You gotta make yourself feel good. You gotta make yourself feel festive and not let myself fall into like a sadness or a depression. I think I've mentioned to you guys before is that the holidays can be very emotional for some of us, right? While it's a time to be festive and be happy and joyous and optimistic and look forward to the future, not all of us feel that way. Sometimes we're mourning the last 12 months. Sometimes we're anxious and nervous about the upcoming 12 months. Sometimes we are mourning the person that we're no longer, the person that we didn't become. We're mourning the loss of people. We're mourning the lack of accomplishment of our goals, the loss of money, the feeling of failure. There's so many things, right, that some of us experience that it's like, it's not always a joyous time. So it's like, for me, I'm like, I'm going to trick myself. I'm going to trick myself to feel all these things. I'm going to have these beautiful flowers. Nobody gave them to me, but you know what? Because I have them, I'm going to have flowers all year long in 2026. In addition to like the way I was celebrating the year, I also think it's important to bring in the year, like your home has to be clean. Your car has to be clean. You have to be clean. Don't come into the year smelling like shit. You have to, I went to get my hair done. As you can see, like it's so silky and beautiful. I got my hair done because I was going to go out, but regardless, like I want my hair to look nice. I got my eyebrows done. I got my eyelashes done. I got my nails done. They're gorgeous. I got my toes done. Like everything has to be on point. I don't think it's like, I know it may sound like perfectionism, but really it's not. For me, it's more about embodying the type of year that I want to have. How do I want to look the rest of this year? I want to look good. I want to look fly. I may be sick right now, but that doesn't change how I'm looking. That's not changing how I'm showing up. That's not changing how I'm presenting myself to the world. That's not changing how I care for myself. I mean, maybe I didn't feel like getting up this morning. I didn't feel like showering. I didn't feel like putting on makeup, but I'm going to do it because ultimately it makes me feel better. And it's going to like translate into, like I said, how I'm gonna experience the year. So later that night, my friend came over and we had a bad argument the next morning. We had a very bad argument. And what made it worse was it was New Year's Day. New Year's Day, bright and early in the morning at like 8, 9 a.m. They had some things that were stressing them out about work that they had to resolve. I was being my usual self, difficult, argumentative, etc. Big fight. And a couple things happened after that ensued. The person leaves. I'm here with my dogs. It's New Year's Day. I don't feel good. I'm sick. And it was just a very, very, very emotional day for me. I'm not crying, by the way. I'm just like sucking up these boogers that like keep wanting to come out. But I cried a lot. I prayed a lot. I meditated. I did yoga. Like I was just trying to do all the things to like rid myself of these feelings that I had. You know, like those feelings that didn't come out for me on New Year's Eve, they were coming out on New Year's Day. And I think that they were induced by the argument that I had with my friend. But in some ways, like, I feel like I needed that. You know what I mean? Like, the conversations that I had with God on New Year's Day are conversations that I've never had with him before. Some of the things that came up for me were so crystal clear, and I took notes on it, very specific things. And I'm not going to get into all the details of like how God speaks to me. God speaks to me. I don't know if he speaks to you, and if he doesn't, maybe he does, but you don't listen, or maybe he does, but you think it's something else, or maybe he doesn't because you're not open to hearing him, or maybe he doesn't because he's not sure if you will believe him or you will trust him, or you don't have a strong enough relationship with him. But I think that if you want to hear from God, just a tidbit is you need to foster your relationship with him, and you need to create moments of solitude and silence where you're not on your phone, there isn't music, there isn't background noise, and you're really like just focused on trying to hear him, focus on trying to get the answers that you need. And I think that that's how they come to you, and that's how they come to me, right? It could be in meditation, it could be in music, it could be in dreams. I could lay quietly on my bed for like 40 minutes straight and like clear my mind fully, and like things will just pop into my head, right? Like random stuff. Like it'll be a name, it'll be an address, it'll be a street, it'll be a person, it'll be a something, it'll say something to me, right? Like I'll name some of the things that came up for this meditation on New Year's. One of them was to consume more oranges, which I thought was interesting, which I am going to go, like everything that God tells me, I try my best to I listen, I go and I do it. One of them was, you need to consume more oranges. Okay, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to make sure I always have oranges, and I'm going to probably have one every other day or something. One of them was to reduce my salt intake. That was another thing that came up. There was a conversation that we had about me having children. I'm getting chills because in this notebook, when I wrote out my life with children or my life without, after that, I have an age on here that I say when I'm going to have a baby. And on New Year's Day, when I was meditating, God said, you're going to have a baby by this age. And it was the same age that I had wrote down 5 weeks ago. So it's just interesting. But it was a very emotional start of the year for me. Like I said, I did all those things. And I know they say that the new year, you're not supposed to try to revamp your whole life. You're not supposed to scratch everything, go into the strongest diet, launch your business, go to school, start this workout regimen, do all these things. You know what I think? I think that there is no right or wrong way to do it. If you are the person that come New Year's Eve, it's nothing to you, you go to sleep before 12 a.m., you wake up the next day, it's just another day, that's you. If you're the person that wants to go full force in the gym and be the first one lined up at 5 a.m. when they open and go to town hard for the next 25 days and then fall off, do you. If you want to start that day and you want to dye your hair and start a diet and cut off all your friends and sell your car and live in an RV, do whatever works for you. Okay? I understand now, just in doing my research, in the reasons why it's not encouraged for you to start this big momentous thing at the beginning of the year, because it's not sustainable, right? You think you're going to keep doing it every day the same way, but it's too much at once. So I understand why it's preferred to do gradual, incremental, small changes, and why that's more beneficial and sustainable in the long run. I get it. But what I'm saying is do whatever you want at the end of the day. So I did all these things. I was watching all these self-help videos, and a lot of great ones that I've pinned that I want to watch back and that I want to apply into some of my goal setting and writing prompts. And I started reading. So one of the books that I started reading, which it's been on my reading list, because I have a long list of books, and I have books right here on this table next to me. I have books that I start and I have books that I finish. I have books that are half read. I have books that I want to read. I have books that I've listened to in audio. I have ones that I'm I refuse to listen to audio that I want to read so that I can make sure that I absorb everything. So the book that I started reading on New Year's Day, mind you, I'm already crashing the fuck out on New Year's Day. Okay? Crashing out in a way that I've never crashed out before. The way I was crying, yelling, wailing, begging, and praying to God for certain things and conversations that he and I had, I broke down in a way that, like, I needed it. I needed to break down that much to kind of like snap me out of it, to snap me out of like it was just so freeing. It was such a freeing thing for me. Not the point. So I started reading The Mountain Is You. If you know anything about this book, many people will say this is like a life-changing book. The Mountain Is You talks about self-sabotage. It gives different examples of how we sabotage different situations. It talks about psychological habits and patterns. It talks about working through trauma and healing and really becoming self-aware of who you are, how you show up, why you do the things you do, if you're a people pleaser, why you're like that, why you take things personal, and kind of like tips and tricks on how to undo those things. When I tell you, the first 10 pages of this book had me crashing the fuck out even more. Like, it was just like punch in the gut. God was like, you know what? I'm going to punch you in the gut over and over. But I can smile today because it's like, I needed that. I needed that type of reality check, right? I needed to have that type of call out from a book. I needed to have that type of crash out and prayer and conversation with God where he tells me, this is like this because of this, or you keep doing this because of this, or I'm not giving you this because of this. I needed to have that, right? So I could stop being delusional about why things are the way they were. So I could start being honest with myself. And when you're honest with yourself and you really get down to the root of like, what the fuck your problem is, you can kind of start fixing it. And I'm not saying it's fixed. My problems are far from fixed. I have many problems. However, they're not detrimental to me. There are things that I know that I want to improve and that I'm going to work on, and that they're part of who I am, right? Everything that is not good or that is problematic about me is just a result of everything that I've experienced, everything that I've lived, everything I've gone through, every person I've interacted with, every person's ever hurt me. It's a product of like my childhood, my upbringing, my culture. It's all of that. It's all of that. And it's okay. But being able to see it fully and be like, okay, something about all those things I was doing, the meditating, the praying, the crying, the YouTube videos, the reading The Mountain Is You, the praying and asking God, the wailing, the crying, the laying in bed, mix it all in a pot. And there was something about it, I'm like, I needed this shit. Who knew that that's what I needed? Who knew that I just needed like a really strong crash out session with me and God in silence that whole day to just remind me of the fact that I'm human, remind me of the fact that even though these things of me need to improve or change, I'm not broken. Remind me that despite X, Y, and Z, I'm still worthy of love. I'm still, you know what I mean? Reminding me that I need to be more graceful with myself and how I work, how I show up, how I am. And just like, nothing is a death sentence, right? If you made a mistake, it's not a death. People make mistakes all the time. Owning your mistake, being aware of your problems gives you the ability to focus on them, acknowledge them, and take accountability, which so many of us have so much difficulty doing because no one wants to be called out. You don't want to be told that you do this often, or you don't want to be told that you come off this way to certain people. No one wants to hear that. But when you can accept it and take accountability, wow, is that powerful. I highly, highly recommend you read Mountain Is You by Brianna, Brianna Wiest, Weist. It is an incredible, incredible book. I think I read 115 pages in one sitting. It was like a couple of hours. I couldn't put it down. And while I'm reading it, like I'm bawling my eyes out, but it was like good, right? It's like a good call out of oh shit, this is me. When I'm reading here, like, oh shit, this is me. Oh shit, I do that. Oh shit, that's why I do that. Oh, is this how I can potentially fix that? So there are some writing prompts in there. And one of them is to write out everything in your life that you are unhappy about. Every single thing. And to get detailed about it. And boy, did I do that. This is my list. I don't want you guys to pause it and read it because it's really personal. But how many things are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 things. I have 8 things on here that I'm absolutely unhappy about. And then when you do that, it forces you to like face the truth about the different areas in your life that you haven't been succeeding in, or the different areas in your life that you haven't been like fostering, that you haven't been intentional about, that you haven't been working towards truly. Because if you were, like, these things would not be on this list, right? These are whatever things that you are unhappy about is essentially a result of like all the actions or lack of action that you haven't been putting forth. So it's kind of like, excuse me, a reality check in that sense. It gives you different mechanisms for when you are being resistant to the truth, like how do you respond to that and what do you do to address it? So that was my New Year's Day. Very, very emotionally draining day. And then yesterday, because today is the 3rd, yesterday was similar. I slept in bed very late. Bed rotting. I was bed rotting. Let's call it what it is. I was bed rotting. I got up. I let my dogs out. I made breakfast for myself and the dogs. I took some of that medicine. I did some writing. I did a bit more reading. I did the things on my list of like the Portuguese, all that, applying to jobs. Oh, I have to sneeze. Whew. It's not coming out. And I did some yoga yesterday. I did some intentional stretching and breathing. And there was a moment yesterday where I'm like, I kept looking for some type of stimuli. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to scroll on YouTube. I wanted to go on LinkedIn and scroll. I wanted to go back and forth to my messages and respond to people. I wanted to go on WhatsApp and see people's statuses. I wanted to turn on the TV. And I'm just like, stop. Just stop with the tech. Stop with the text. Stop with the content. Stop with the media. So there was a point where I'm like, put your phone on airplane mode. And I need you to just put it in a separate room from yourself. So I had to do that. So I could just like sit with myself, right? And mind you, I hadn't left the house in like, it's been like 3 days. I haven't left the house at all. I did leave earlier today. I was invited to brunch with my boyfriend. And we went out to brunch and it was good. It was good. But I think that I don't know what's going to happen this year. None of us do. The start of this year was weird as heck for me. Emotional drain. Oh, and then I get my period, right? So it's like, then kind of like all the crash outs kind of start to make sense. I'm like, oh, that's why I was crying about like a French fry. Not literally, but there have been times I cry about crazy things when my period is coming. So, I'm excited about this year. I'm truly excited about this year. I feel rested going into the work week on Monday. I feel accomplished looking at my previous year. I feel prepared. Oh, sorry about that. I feel prepared to go into the new year. I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what opportunities are coming. I wrote down the things that I want. I wrote down when I want them by. I wrote down the way I'm going to accomplish them, and I'm actually going to work on them. The things that I have that I want to be doing every day that I've been doing consistently for the last couple of months, I've been disciplined about doing them, and I'm going to continue doing that, right? So it's like I'm entering this year with intentionality. Is it disorganized? Is it chaotic? Yes. But you know what else is? Life. Life is disorganized. Life is chaotic. You can try to organize, you can try to structure it all you want. But the truth is, like, life happens, and it happens in different ways. Weather happens, people lose power, accidents, all these things happen. So it's like, I'm not going to worry so much about the structure. This year, I'm going to worry about doing what I say. That's going to be my mantra for this year. Do what you said you would do. In the book, The Mountain Is You, she does talk about, what does she say? She says creating a theme for the year. Wait, was it that? Everything's blurred together. I'm reading this book. I'm watching all these like self-help YouTube guru people. Someone said, I don't know if it was the book, it said, create a theme for this year. It could be a word. They suggested a word. But me, it's going to be a sentence. It's going to be an action. Do what you said. So what I wrote down in this notebook, what I have written down in my notes in my phone of my manifestations, my to-dos, what I'm writing on my to-do list at work for Monday, do what you said you were going to do. Do what you said you were going to do. Oh my God, look at this. Disgusting. Anyway, this video is so long, so all over the place. But I hope you guys took something of value, and I'm going to be more intentional. I am going to do what I said. I'm going to be more intentional about recording videos like this and videos on other subjects, and actually be intentional about uploading them onto this platform. So if you enjoyed this video, this is disgusting. Please comment your thoughts below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. And I hope the start of your year has been amazing, and I know it's going to be a great one for all of us. Thank you.